Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another meal prep video. So this week is a pretty massive meal prep. I was on a meal prepping roll. Plus this weekend was my weekend off because I work every other Saturday. So I decided to make the absolute most of my Sunday and meal prep as much as I possibly could to make my life easier during the week. I hope you guys find some inspiration and motivation to get in your kitchen and meal prep for yourself and your family as well. So let's jump in the kitchen and let's get started. All right, so we are going to start out by washing our berries in vinegar water. I just throw some cold water in there with just a little bit of vinegar, maybe 2-3 tablespoons. This week I'm cleaning up some blackberries and some blueberries, and that way they're nice and clean for breakfast or snacks. Next up is boiled eggs in the Instant Pot. I just throw 1 cup of water in there. I put it on egg and I cook them for about 4 minutes. One exploded. Don't know why that happened because usually that does not happen. After that, I throw them in an ice bath for around 5 minutes and then I put them in sandwich bags. Easy peasy, grab and go. Lunch, breakfast, snack, whatever you want to eat it for. Next up is a sausage, egg, Cajun breakfast dish. Those are all the ingredients that we are going to be using. And first up, I am going to chop up all of the vegetables. I'm going to be using some jalapenos, some green peppers, as well as some onions. And I am going to saute all those up together as well as the sausage. I'm just going to saute all that up together. I don't use any oil because the sausage has enough fat in it, so that way nothing will stick to the pan. And I'm just going to go in there with my spoon, stir all that together, and let the sausage cook thoroughly. And when the vegetables are softened, I am going to throw in there the eggs. I tossed in around 8 eggs, and that was plenty because my husband's really the only one that eats breakfast during the week, so this is mostly for him during the week, and this will last him the whole week. So that is the only thing I'm going to season this dish with is the Tony's seasoning. You don't really need salt or anything like that because sausage is salty enough. So the Tony's is it. That's the only thing I'm sprinkling in this dish. Just going to make sure the eggs are thoroughly cooked, and then when it is done, I am going to let it cool. Look at that. Look at all those delicious vegetables in there. And jalapenos really make this dish even yummier. If you don't like jalapenos, you could always use green chilies. Next up, I am going to be making some chicken green chili salad. Then, of course, I forgot to press record on my camera. So I put in there 1 can of that Kirkland chicken. That's a pretty large can. 1 can of green chilies. I did put in there some sour cream as well as some mayonnaise. I do about equal amount of sour cream and mayonnaise. I also threw in there some Valentina. Woo, so good if you like some spice. Some salt, some pepper. Gave that bad boy a stir. Can I just tell you guys, Oscar absolutely loved this chicken salad. He asked me, he was like, "What did you put in there? That was so good." So I also decided to prepare some hamburgers for this week. Easy peasy, simple. Something that's just easy to grab and reheat. I did sprinkle some of the Tony's seasoning on there, and I just cooked it in my electric skillet. Love that thing. And if you have an air fryer, you can even reheat your burgers in an air fryer so that way they don't end up dry. Look at all that fat. Holy guacamole, that is a lot of fat. So when they were done, I did put them on a napkin on a plate to absorb a little bit of that. I'm all about living up that keto lifestyle, but I did want to soak up a little bit of that. But either way, delicious. Then next up, we are going to be making some taco soup. Those are the ingredients that we are going to use for this. And I will show you how we are going to throw it all together because we're cooking this up in a crock pot. We're just going to put that on low. And I am throwing in there around 4 cups of beef broth, 2 cans of Rotel, 2 8-ounce packages of cream cheese, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of garlic, 1 teaspoon chili powder, 1 teaspoon paprika, and a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. A teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of pepper, and then we are just gonna stir that all around, and then we're gonna add 2 pounds of ground beef. We're gonna put the lid on that, and we are gonna let that cook on low for around 6 hours. That is the finished product. You guys, this is ridiculously easy and one of my absolute favorite keto soups. So good. Crock-pot meals are perfect. Next up, just like the last couple of weeks, we are going to be marinating some steaks, some chicken, and some pork. So in the steaks, we are going to be marinating them with some olive oil, salt, pepper, lemon, ground cumin, chili powder, and then you'll see at the end I do add a couple of more seasonings. It's going to be kind of like a Mexican type marinade. I am squeezing 2 lemons in there. I did put in there around a half a cup of olive oil. I'm shaking in some chili powder. Again, this is just a marinade. You don't have to be exact with these ingredients. Just have fun with it and do your own thing. Adding in some salt, added in some oregano, pepper, and like I said, I do end up adding a couple of other things. I ended up going back in with the chili powder. I added some paprika, so I shook a little bit of that in there, as well as some cayenne, and I just stirred that up, and then, sorry, you can't see that very well, but I just threw all the steak in a Ziploc bag, poured the marinade over it, and just gave it a nice massage and shook it up. And then the best is to just leave it in the fridge all night long. Next, we're going to be marinating pork. I'm going to use garlic, sugar-free maple syrup, soy sauce, red wine vinegar, sesame oil, and then some of the golden monk fruit sweetener. So I did throw in there some garlic, that monk fruit sweetener, probably like 2 or 3 tablespoons, a couple tablespoons of that maple sugar-free syrup, a couple tablespoons of the sesame oil, a couple tablespoons of the vinegar, red wine vinegar, and then probably like around a half a cup of soy sauce. And this was oh so good. I like to try different marinades because marinating your meats and all that stuff, I know I say this every single time, but it really truly makes a huge difference. Again, threw all the meat in a bag, threw the marinade over it, gave it a massage, and threw it in the fridge. Next up is the chicken. We're going to be using Dijon mustard, olive oil, sugar-free maple syrup, and red wine vinaigrette. It kind of tasted like a honey mustard chicken. It was really, really good. And then I just fired up my grill, and like I have been pretty much every week, I've just been grilling those up. So good, so tender, so juicy. I did end up cooking the red meat just slightly too long because we like it a little bit redder in the middle, or a little bit more pink, but it still turned out delicious and juicy and so flavorful. Same thing with the pork. The pork was delicious. And the chicken, oh boy, the chicken definitely had that mustard honey taste. It had like a mix of the mustard and the sweet taste. So good, so tender. Even when you reheated these, they didn't get all dry and nasty like I feel like they sometimes do if you don't marinate them first. Again, highly, highly recommend you marinating your meats before you cook them. Next, we're gonna make creamy spinach. It's so good. So that was about a couple of tablespoons of butter, as well as around a tablespoon of garlic. And then I just used a 10-ounce bag of frozen spinach that I microwaved in the microwave to get it warm before I threw it in the pan. And I just stirred all of that up together. That is around 4 ounces of cream cheese, 1/3 cup of heavy whipping cream. I did throw in there a little bit of oregano as well as some salt. to give it some flavor. And then also I did put in some black pepper. And this dish is so delicious, especially if you're not a huge spinach eater. This is a game changer. I'm not real big on cooked spinach, but I absolutely love it this way. I let it cook down for just a little bit, and then I did throw in there probably around a third a cup of Parmesan cheese. And you just let it cook and get all those flavors together. Oh my goodness, it's so good. Look how delicious that looks. Again, total game changer for cooked spinach. If you guys haven't tried it, definitely give it a try. So I'm also gonna cook up, this is around 2 pounds of ground beef, and I'm gonna make 2 different recipes with this. The first one is going to be stuffed peppers, and the next one is going to be a hamburger zucchini dish. I'm just kind of making that one up, but I'm going to clean my zucchinis. I did throw a little bit of vinegar in there, and I'm gonna make sure that those are completely clean, cut them up into little bitty bite-sized pieces like that. Half of the zucchini I'm going to toss with avocado oil, some salt, as well as some pepper. And then I'm going to put it in my air fryer basket. I'm going to make sure that the zucchini is evenly distributed on the bottom of that basket. And I'm going to cook some of the zucchini in my air fryer. So I just push the air fry button, I put it on 400 degrees, and I cooked them around 7 minutes, and they came out perfect. Holy moly, air fryer zucchini is delicious. So I think the next thing I'm gonna try is asparagus. I have asparagus, so I think I'm gonna try that next. But look how gorgeous that is. It even has like a little bit of a golden brown. So good. Next up, I'm going to take the other half of the zucchini. Again, I tossed in avocado oil, salt, pepper, and I am going to use this half of the zucchini for the hamburger zucchini dish that I'm going to be making. I'm going to throw in there 1 tablespoon of garlic. I'm just going to cook that up in my pan on the stovetop. Those are the ingredients I'm going to use. So simple ingredients, a little bit of garlic powder, salt, and pepper. And as far as seasonings, that's all I'm going to use. I'm going to try to get my zucchini a little bit soft before I throw the hamburger in. And once it's soft, I throw the other pound of hamburger in. And then I am going to put in there 1/2 cup of heavy whipping cream, and then around a cup of cheese. That is literally it. Simple, simple dish, and this turned out so delicious. Everybody enjoyed this dish. And the zucchini wasn't too well done. It wasn't like super soft, but it definitely wasn't hard anymore. Again, if you guys are looking for something simple, that's simple. Next, I was just preparing the peppers. I got 5 peppers that I cut the tops off of them. I did keep that part of the top because I'm going to chop it up into bite-sized pieces, and that is going to go inside of the stuffed peppers as well as everything else. So don't throw that part away. That part is totally awesome to put in the pepper. I like to steam my peppers a little bit before I stuff them. I feel like it helps them get a little bit softer. So I am just going to put a little bit of avocado oil in my pan, and then I'm going to saute up those green pepper toppings that I chopped up. Again, a little bit of garlic, and then that is a bag of cauliflower rice that I buy at Costco. I did microwave it in the microwave to get it nice and warm before I put it in there. And then I'm also going to put in there tomato sauce, salt, Italian seasoning, chopped onion, some pepper, and then that other pound of ground beef that we cooked up earlier. I just throw the ground beef in there. I let that all cook together. I like to throw the tomato sauce in there while that all cooks together, and the seasonings, because the tomato sauce especially will really help the green peppers soften up a little bit. And then obviously I'm throwing in all of my seasonings, probably around a teaspoon of each one of those seasonings except for the pepper, and the pepper probably only around a 1/2 teaspoon. That's kind of my rule of thumb for most seasonings, to be honest with you. I don't really measure. I just kind of throw it in there, but I do love seasonings. Seasonings is what makes your food gonna be flavorful. So don't be afraid to season your food. Then I just gave all that a really good stir, let it cook up. By the time that was done cooking up, the peppers were soft enough, and I do make sure that I drain the water out because they do have condensation in the bottom of the pepper. Make sure you get that water out of there. And then just fill up each one of your peppers with that filling, and it made the perfect amount. It filled all 5 of them perfectly, and it still gave me a little bit of room to put cheese on the top, which was perfect. So I just used that cheddar jack cheese. You can use mozzarella, you can do whatever you want, but that's around 1/4 a cup of cheese on each one of those peppers. Do keep in mind it is healthier to shred your own cheese. I just don't do that a lot of times. I did preheat my oven to 400 degrees. I cooked these just till the tops were kind of golden brown like that on the top, and it was perfect. These are delicious. If you guys do not make stuffed peppers, what the heck are you waiting for? Get in the kitchen. Run right now and go make these, because these are not going to disappoint you. Y'all, so that concludes this week's meal prep. If you guys are loving these videos, if you could do me a favor and give it a huge thumbs up. Also, if you are not yet part of my Simply Misty family, go ahead and smash that subscribe button as well, because I'd love to have you as part of my YouTube family. I hope you guys enjoyed this meal prep. In my opinion, there are lots of good recipes. Definitely give these a try. None of these should disappoint you or your family. They are delicious. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I will leave my Instagram in the description box below. Let me know what you're meal prepping. Let me know if you tried any of my recipes. Let me know if you liked them. And don't forget to tag me. Also, leave a comment down below. I love chit-chatting with you guys. But for now, I think that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate every single one of you guys. And don't forget to go out there and make today even better than yesterday. And I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye. On my own, but I don't know why. You hit the road, but you don't realize I won't look back when you're around. I won't think twice.